Welcome everyone to another lesson on Khadija Academy. Before we start this lesson, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go and start our lesson. Hey guys, and welcome to another lesson. In this one we will discuss the hysteresis current control, or HCC. What does this even do? So in the previous lesson we obtained the three-phase reference currents IA and IB and IC. Now we would like to convert these reference currents obtained from the inverse Clark-Park transformation into pulses for our switches. So how can I do this? So let's look at our system here. So if we remember that after using this control loop and we obtained reference currents, used inverse Clark-Park transformation to get these reference currents. What I need is converting these into pulses using a current switching technique. One of these techniques is the hysteresis current control. So let's take a just one switch to understand this idea. If you understand one current, the rest are the same, okay? So we know that in a three-phase converter, we have two switches, upper switch and lower switch, S1 and S4. And we have a voltage here, VA and IA, right? So by logic here, and I would like you to think about it. If I would like to increase IA, if I would like to increase this current, what do you think should I do? Should I switch S1 or should I switch S4? By logic, you will close S1, right, and make S4 open. Why? Because this DC source will give a current in the same direction of the IA, or it will help boost the current IA. So S1 will be on and S4 will be off. Now what if I would like to make IA less? By logic, you will connect the S4 or connect it to the negative of the supply, right? So S1 is off and S4 is on. Okay. However, the question is, when do we switch on and off? At any given error or at a certain error? What I mean by this is that we compare like this. We have plus and minus. We have IA reference, which is obtained from the control loop, and we have the actual current, right? We will have delta I, which is the error between these two. Now, of course, we don't make this switches on and off at any given error, right? There must be a certain error at which we will start or turn off, right? At which we will turn on S1 or switch to S4, right? Not all the time it will be switched on and off. So delta I must have a certain value, which is called hysteresis band, H or hysteresis band. So when delta I equal to H, positive or negative, we are switching from S1 to S4 or from S4 to S1, as we will see right now. So there must be a minimum error reached, after which we change from one state to another. So let's look at this. So what you will see is that for a hysteresis current control, we have three switches, right? We have three control loops. So we have one for IA, one for IB, one for IC, and each one we compare reference with the actual current, reference with actual, to get the error in each one. It goes to a hysteresis current controller that gives pulses to S1, and for the second switch or lower switch, it will be the inverse of it, right? We know that if S1 is on, then S4 is off, or S4 is on, then S1 is on, right? Similarly for the other switches. Now let's look at this loop, hysteresis current control, and understand how does these switches. So what you will see that we have this red line representing the reference current. The current I, let's say we'll talk about IA reference. The current IA is that I need, okay? And the green one here representing the actual current IA, okay? And the difference between them is delta I, or the error occurring at any instant, right? Okay, so let's look carefully here. Let's say we started at this point, here. At this point here, you will see that VA is positive, or the voltage is positive, which means S1 is on and S4 is off, right? So it means that we started at this point at which S1 is on and S4 is off. Okay? Okay. Now, what about delta I at this point? At this point, delta I is equal to 0. The error between reference and actual, they are on each other. So it means that the error between them is equal to 0, right? So what will happen? S1 is still on. So by logic, when S1 is on like this, IA will increase, as we just explained. IA will increase. So what you see that the current IA starts increasing like this, increasing, right? As you can see, increasing like this. Now, the error between them, delta I, start is increasing, right? But still we are not going to switch to S4 until a certain limit reached, which is this point here. At this point here, this is the limit, which is, you will find that there is a delta I. Let's delete all of this and let's just do zoom in here. You will see that at this point there is a delta I between this red line and this green one. This delta I is called H, okay, or hysteresis band, the point, the gap between the reference value and the actual current. When the current reaches this error H, then we will start to switch to S4, right? Because we don't want it to increase beyond H. So in this case, S4 will be on and S1 will be off, making the supply, making S4 on and S1 is off. The negative is connected to VA. So what you will see at this point here, you will see that we were on from here on until this point. We switch it to off, which means S4 is on, VA connected to negative of the supply. So you can see that at this point, VA switched to negative of the supply. Okay, so the current will start going down, 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 down until a very large value. You can see that an error between this one and this one, delta H. Okay, delta H. When delta I equal to H here, or the hysteresis band, the difference between reference and actual, becomes negative H, hey, we are going to switch back to on, because I don't want the current to go beyond, lower than this limit. So it will start increasing again by switching from negative to positive. Now looking at this, this is what we just said. If the delta I, the error between IA reference and I actual, greater than H, what does this even mean? It means that our current is lower than IA by an H value, like this point here. In this case, we will switch S1 on and S4 off to increase the current again. We connect it to the positive of the supply so that we increase again once more. If the inverse will happen, negative H, if IA greater than IA reference by H, by a certain gap, so it means that our current is too much. We have to switch it to S4 to bring it down, like this point here. It is too much than reference by a gap of H. So it will start going down here by switching to a negative supply. How can we translate this into the control loop? You can look at here. It will be like this. Let's get back here first. it will be like this. Okay, it moves on this rectangle which you can see here. So now let's zoom in again. So what you will see is that, let's say we were in the off mode at this point, in the off mode, and then when we were in the off mode, what you will see that at this point off, here we are. Off means S1 is off and S4 is on, which means we are connected to the negative of the supply. Okay, due to connection of the negative of the supply, IA will start going down, right? Will start going down. So it means that the error between IA and IA star and IA will start increasing into a positive direction. You can see that here at this point, since we connected to negative supply, then IA goes down, so the error is going to the positive direction. You can see it starts increasing in the positive direction until the error between them, between these two, IA minus IA reference minus IA, becomes positive H. This gap here is positive H. When it becomes like this, we need to increase IA once more. So we will switch from the off state to on state. When we switch IA to the on state, IA will start going up. So delta I will start going down to the negative direction, like this. When delta I becomes so much negative, or negative H, this gap, negative H, then we need to bring this current back down. So we will switch to the off mode. So as if on and off, on and off. And you can see the on and off depends on the hysteresis band. This band here. This band, hysteresis band here, is 2H. This distance here is 2H. You can see that we have the lower limit and the upper limit, and between them this gap is 2H, because it is this gap. Now as you can see that the smaller this gap, the more switching which will happen, and the more the current will be closer to the reference value, right? As this H becomes tighter and tighter, 2H decreases, more the current will become more smoother than before, right? However, you will find that there is a very important advantage of hysteresis current control, is that it is one of the fastest control switching techniques. However, it has one problem here, one main problem, is that the switching frequency is not constant. What I mean by switching frequency, you can see that there is this gaps. You can see large pulse and then small. Then we will have a smaller one compared to this one. You'll find that these pulses are not equal to each other. It doesn't have a fixed switching frequency. It has a variable switching frequency. Unlike the pulse width modulation, in which we were controlling the triangular wave or the triangular carrier wave control, or triangular carrier wave switching frequency. If you remember, we can control the triangular wave as 1 kilohertz or 5 kilohertz or anything between them as we would like, right? So as you can see, we can control the switching frequency. Okay, unlike here, you can see it is variable frequency. We cannot control it, as you can see here, because these pulses, you can see one has a small pulse. Here it is a bigger. This one is a big pulse, small pulse, smaller pulse. It is not the same at all times, so it has a variable switching frequency. So I hope you now understand how can we convert the current into pulses using the hysteresis current control, which is one of the control of the current itself. Thank you for watching this lesson. I would like to invite you to our academy, Khadija Academy Premium membership, which will help you learn more about electrical engineering. In this academy, or in the academy membership, you will find that we'll have more than 100 courses in math, electrical engineering basics, power engineering career preparations. For example, we have electrical design, We have courses on electric circuits, power electronics, ETAB, MATLAB, solar energy, wave energy, wind energy, and much more. You can join our membership for just a small fee per month, or you can just have a lifetime access in which you will get all of current courses and classes, and you can have them forever. And not only this, but any new courses that will be created, you will be able to watch it for completely free. So what are the classes that I will learn in this membership? You will find different classes in electric circuits, you will find in transformers, magnetic circuits, machines, power electronics, load estimation, lighting design, lightning also design, earthing system, cables, generators, light current systems or low current systems, off-grid design, on-grid design. Very lots of classes and courses in different topics.